Hello, welcome to another video. In today's video, this is a remake of a video, but for dummies. The video in question was called The Coup, which I made a video with all the news sources collected, data scientists talking about how 2024 election was stolen. Well, there's a lot more that has come out, more of the same, basically. So, to explain this video, because in the original video, it's data scientists explaining what happened. Data scientists, what comes out of their mouth is very intellectual. So a lot of people really won't understand what they're talking about. Like they just can't even comprehend what they're talking about, okay? So I believe this all started and got put in Trump's head when he saw what the Democrats did to Bernie. There was vote fraud in the 2015 Democratic primaries, where Hillary did things that blocked Bernie, okay? Trump saw this. He commented on this, okay? So that put it in his head that it was possible, okay? So now, when he lost in 2020, he did the insurrection on January 6th and started with these lies that the vote was a scam and the vote had, it was a sham, it was a rigged election and all this. Like, when he was the president, he was in control of the country. And now he's saying that other people were able to scam the vote, right? And now the vote had worked in most areas around the country by volunteers coming together from all sides of the political spectrum to count the votes. So January 6th happens. They start saying all these things. Oh, the vote was rigged and all this. This started people thinking that that could happen. That was a possibility. Okay. So now, during the 4 years from 2020 to 2024, as an example, the head of the Proud Boys sent an email to all his people saying, get jobs at voting places. Okay? So we have a massive surge in people being harassed out of their jobs, threatened out of their jobs at voting stations. And the people that are taking over their spots, MAGAs. Okay? So they spent the whole entire 4 years packing the voting places. Okay. Now, who did all this? And look, all this is still to come, okay? But I want to make sure that everyone is clear what groups of people are responsible for this. First and foremost, it's the oligarchy, okay? The oligarchy got terrified during Occupy, got horrified at the prospect of Bernie, what is the prospect of Bernie? Was paying their fair share of taxes. That's it. The rich tax rate, this is beyond the scope of this video, but I'm sure everyone's aware that the rich really don't pay their fair share of taxes, okay? And that's what Bernie would have taken care of. In theory, He would have tried. Whether it would have worked out or not, who knows? At this point, there's so much money and propaganda. The oligarchy controls everything, right? Okay, so the oligarchy, number one. Number two is the police state. There is a police state that was built behind these false accusations of drugs being a threat to society. It was all lies. The drug war was started to go after liberals and blacks. This is a direct quote from a Nixon administration assistant that did all this back in 1970-71. That started the drug war, that built the police state. Okay? Then the war on terror. Build it even bigger. We got more people and more prisons than anywhere in the world. Just in Portland alone, they just building so many jails and stuff. They have an entire jail. They spent millions of dollars just building a jail to have another jail, and nobody's in the jail. It's not even open. They spent millions in Portland, a liberal city, spending millions of dollars just to have more cages, okay? When all the research and science shows the cages are a bad idea. Okay, so now we have the oligarchy and we have the police state. That is who did the coup. Those are the coup plotters. Those are the coosters, okay? The police state and the oligarchy. That's them. And then they have their foot soldiers, people like the Proud Boys, the ones that were sent emails to go get jobs at voting polling stations, okay? So now, it was impossible, like statistically impossible, which statistically impossible means that out of 100 times of something, it could happen a percentage of those, or it can't happen a percent of those. Okay, so if something can happen in 100 times, it's statistically possible. If it can't, it's statistically impossible. That's how that term works, okay? So it's statistically impossible for Trump to have won all the swing states. So that was the focus of most of these people that were getting jobs in the voting polling stations, okay? So now, the first scientist that came out and started saying, look, there's problems with the numbers because the totals are available for people to look at. You can download it, and people, data scientists, download it and they run analyzing processes on the data so they can look and see things like the bullet ballot. Okay, so now I'm going to explain a bullet ballot. So, in normal elections, bullet ballots are less than 1% of the total. Okay, and a bullet ballot is when you get a voting sheet, you've got all these different people to vote for, a bunch of laws to vote for, federal, state, local. There's all these things to vote for, okay? Bullet ballots are when people go and they just vote, for example, just for the presidential. So there's just on the entire ballot, there's only one check. There's only one box filled in on the entire ballot. That is what a bullet ballot is. Okay. And those are typically less than 1% of voters. People vote, they want to vote for everything. Most people. Okay, So in the swing states, some swing states were up to like 7%. Other swing states are like 5%. And you're like, well, how do they get this in? The bomb threats. They called in bomb threats across the nation. And they didn't call them in. They were emails from Russia coming into all the very specific emails that were responsible for county elections. So it was a targeted campaign of bomb threats. Then what happened is there was what the bomb threats did was they broke the chain of custody. In every state that the bomb threats were called in every county, in every precinct, that the bomb threats affected those votes, they broke the chain of custody. That's where the bullet ballots came from. So you're a Proud Boy. You're working at the voting office. You have a box full of ballots that you've already gone through and checked just one check. Trump, 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 okay? That's the bullet ballots. This is not the only thing they did. They also unprecedentedly removed over 3 million people from the voting rolls, purged voting rolls, specifically in areas that were on the fence, swing states, okay? Now, the voting uploads, so they compile the votes in all the places all across the country. Then they report their votes to one main place that compiles all those votes. That data that goes from point A to point B was sent across Starlink. Right. So, and in the Philadelphia state where Elon was doing all sorts of weird things, offering money for people to vote, doing lotteries and weird stuff, because he was getting data so he could figure it all out. Just like Trump said right there, oh yeah, Elon sure does know those voting machines really well. I mean, they're literally telling everybody what they're doing and did it. So they captured the data uplinks and changed the votes mid-flight. Okay? So now we have voter suppression to over 3 million votes. We have the bomb threats and the bullet ballots. And then we have intercepted transmissions with Starlink. And it appears as though that there was in the counting machines, so there's the voting machines and then there's the tabulating machines, okay? For 4 years, there was, oh, this election was a fraud, oh, this election was a fraud, and it was all the kookiest stuff ever. Hugo Chavez and Chinese ballots with bamboo, I mean, kooky. And every recount came back with Biden actually got more votes. But what that whole kooky show did was it enabled people on one side to think it was possible, and it made people on the other side think that anybody that would say it's possible is a kook. Because Kamala was sent this information. If Kamala had just started sending in, basically do the same thing Trump we wouldn't be in the position we were right now. But see, the thing is the rich people are in control of all. They are paying everybody on both sides salaries, okay? And they are not going to pay their fair share in taxes. That's what's not going to happen. And that's what this is all about. That's what everybody needs to understand. This is just the rich people not wanting to pay their taxes. And then the low IQ police state with their Dunning-Kruger effect, fascist to the core. The entire police state is a fascist entity. And I'm sure there's cops that aren't fascist, but, feel free to quit your job, bro. Go to work for, I don't know. Anyway, what you need to know about the situation right now is it seems as though they've removed everything from the United States government that did any sort of good. There's no good left in the United States government. They cut all those agencies out. They are nothing but an evil empire thing now. The entire US government. The Constitution is dead. The United States as a democracy in the world is dead. People need to wake up, realize the election was stolen. He's an illegitimate president, and everybody should be absolutely freaking terrified, okay? But that terrified, look, I left the country because I was already under pre-harassment by the freaking Gestapo for years. They tried to kill me twice for going to an anti-Trump rally with an anti-Trump sign. They burned my house down, killed my cats, lost almost everything in the fire, in the hospital 5 days, medical debt, totally crushed me. And they tried running me off the road when I had a van full of crew on a video production shoot, going out to the woods. I had a house rented out, not woods, more like property, but anyway, they tried to run me off, and I know it's them because I got a real good look at the guy. And he checks with all the other looks of all these other Gestapo that I've seen over the years. Identical, okay? The Gestapo has a look, okay? So I'm definitely an authority on what's coming. I made a video, Trump's a fascist, and my place was burned down a couple days later, okay? So at this point, the United States is done. The government is not legitimate. They literally stole the freaking election. You're gonna have to wake up to this, people. Peace.
Thank you for watching.